Are you reassured or encouraged by these signs that perhaps the whichever wave we're on now, X wave, might have had its day?
Hello, Alex. There's some positive news over the past week. Cases have fallen across the UK by about 20,000, from 56,000 to 36,000 yesterday. But it's still a very high number. And since July, we have seen cases vary between 30,000 and 50,000 a day, typically, over that period. So there's some good news, but there's still a long way to go yet. And we're not yet fully into winter, where we might expect more pressure on infection numbers.
Do we yet wholly understand what sort of triggers the rise and fall of these various waves? Is it entirely down to government intervention and putting certain measures in place? Because, of course, now a lot of us are vaccinated, but we don't have not even half as many of the restrictions that perhaps are being used still on the continent.
Yeah, it's more difficult now to predict the future because when the pandemic first started, no one was immune. So it's very easy to kind of predict, patterns of infection or easy it is now. But now, when we've got people vaccinated, people who had previous infections, it's much harder to predict how they will react to exposure to the virus, and so it is hard to predict the future. I think one thing, though, is very clear, is the number of cases is very sensitive to vaccination coverage in the population. So if vaccination coverage is a bit higher than we expect, that has a big impact on the number of cases and pushing it down. If it's a bit lower than we expect, that has a big impact the other way. Case numbers will increase. So I think the key for the next few months is really getting vaccination coverage to a very high level of the population. So at the moment, we've got about 1 in 10 adults across the UK who've not been vaccinated, about 5 million people. So we have got a large number of people who've never been vaccinated at all. So the key really, we all want to avoid additional measures like lockdowns, etc. But the key to that really is pushing vaccination rates up to a high level and really targeting the group that's not been vaccinated at all so far, as well as boosters and other vaccines for children and so on as we move forwards.